In this little addendum, I'm just going to talk about the properties panel very quickly here, how it works. Basically, it's known as modal interface, which means that whatever element is highlighted, the various properties attributed to that element will appear in the properties panel. As you can see right now, I have the wheel highlighted, so I can see all the positioning features, a whole bunch of different aspects of this thing that I can manipulate and change. If I was, for example, to click on the background, now I'm looking at the properties basically for the document, to be honest, which includes background stage color. So if I wanted to go in and change the color, let's say to a school bus yellow or something, I can simply select that. I can actually change my stage size, and I can either type it in, or I can click and grab these numbers and drag them left or right to increase or decrease the number, and so on. Frames per second, the frame rate that it plays back at can be affected here. And a lot of these things can also be affected in other locations in the software, but my properties panel is a good go-to place for that. Scale content or not, when I'm changing size, that's actually a fairly new feature, which is quite nice. And again, various different aspects of it that we'll get into in more detail when we get into publishing and so on. But that's the properties panel. It's known as a modal interface, which means that it will show the various properties depending on what's highlighted. Now again, if I highlight a frame, I can see the frame properties, which is different than highlighting the stage actually. So that's something we're going to need to distinguish as well, highlighting elements in the timeline versus highlighting things on the stage. So that's just a very brief, quick overview of the properties panel and how it essentially works.